Morning, everybody. This is Steve Lentini. I am the author of Sales Success for the Rookie, How to Succeed at Sales Right from the Start. It's on Amazon. Just Google How to Succeed at Sales Right from the Start or Sales Success for the Rookie, and up I come. I'm also a contributing author in Imagine 30 Days to a New You. I'm a contributing author. They're both published by Motivational Press. They're my publisher. It's a great company. If you want to publish a book, you've got to reach out to Motivational Press or reach out to me. You can reach me at 917-805-1088, 917-805-1088, or you can reach me at Steve, S-T-E-V-E, at stevelentini.com, L-E-N-T as in Tom, I-N-I, stevelentini.com, all right? You can also chat with me here. You can send questions. This is live, all right? So the best getting better, this is my reinforcement messages. My goal is to do them once a week, and mostly I have since December. Okay, so here's the topic today. So what happens when we show up at one of our largest customers and there's a new contact, and we're kind of in the middle, like, you know, what happened to Jack, or what happened to Mary, or what happened to William? Here's the thing. So this is the argument. I say it to salespeople all the time. This is the argument why we always have to be calling on someone new, because things change. We can't control what changes in life. You know, we live in something amazing called a universe, and you're not the general manager of the universe. I'm sad to say. I'm sad to report the news to you. And we all have a story about things that are happening to us. And the place to get when things change like that in a major customer, a major client, one of our top customers, they're in the top 20% that give us 80% of our business, and someone new shows up, we can't control that. What we can control, the only thing that you can control, is your reaction to these events, and to find a place that you're the creator of your events, that you're the creator of your life. You say, Steve, I didn't create that. I don't employ the person who got fired, or who got promoted, or who quit the company. How do I have control over that? There are certain events in your life that are there for you to learn and grow from. So obviously this is something that you can learn and grow from. So here's the key. You can control your response. That's what you can control. Some people have a story of woe's me. Oh, they talk to everybody all day long about my best customer, my best contact left. Oh my, I got a challenge now. I got a struggle. I might lose my best customer. What you focus on in the universe increases. It's called the law of increase. You want to get a good book to help you learn about the law of increase, get the book Are You Ready to Succeed by Dr. Rao. It's Sri Kumar Rao. Sri, S-R-I-K-U-M-A-R, Sri Kumar Rao. Great book. And he talks about developing a level of thinking above our thinking, so that you're not a reaction. You're not walking around in a story that you tell yourself. And most salespeople have a story. They get stories about, I've witnessed it 40 years, right? I've even had stories myself. I'm not exempt from anything that I talk about. I talk about it because I've learned from it. And I've studied a lot of different principles, sales methods. I've observed hundreds and hundreds, it's probably thousands of salespeople that were challenged and salespeople that are successful, including myself. I mean, I've sold millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of a variety of products and services and software. I've helped software companies, sales software as a service companies. I've helped medical equipment companies. I've helped big service companies, small service companies. I've helped distribution companies. And so here's what I've noticed. What people think about and talk about becomes their life story. So if you've ever heard of AST or the Forum or Landmark training, it was started by a guy named Werner Erhard. And he used to say, I accuse you of being a circumstance in your life, which means that you're a victim, that you have no power. You're not creating your circumstances. So you say, well, Steve, I just walked into my best customer. How did I create that? What you're responsible for is what you can control. So it's your response. Okay, so Bill is gone. Talk to me. What are your plans? How can I help you in your responsibilities? Must be overwhelming. I mean, it's about it. It's not about you. Do you think they care that you're in shock? They can probably see it if you're not detached from outcomes. And this is the key in life, is to learn to detach from outcomes. You're not in charge of outcomes. You're not the general manager of the universe. So I was an A type salesperson, always growing, always. I never had a down year, knock on wood. Hear that knock? I do this all the time. Unless you change, things don't change. So here's the thing to get. Don't be devastated by the fact that your top customer has a new contact and you walked in the door and nobody told you. Nobody picked up the phone and said, Steve, we're changing the guy that you work with or the gal that you work with, and we just don't want you to be devastated. I mean, it's crazy thinking to think that you're going to have every customer forever, no matter what, no matter what. Now, a couple things. If you've done your job and they promote somebody from within and you're acknowledging people as you come in, you're developing relationships that are below the level of your contact, well, then you're safe, right? Because now someone says, hey, Steve, I got news for you. I'm in the job. That's happened to me lots of times. I had large customers that, hospitals, for example, where I would make contacts many, many, many layers below. And then it happened more than once where in big jobs, people that no one else really would have expected got promoted above other people or promoted from another department. And so that always benefited me. And so good salespeople know it. They develop relationships below, many layers below their main contact, because you're a people person. Your job is to meet people, and your job is to find ways to help people. That's your job. That's what you can control. You're not selling anything anymore. You're helping people. If you have commission breath, people see it. It's like you'd be devastated because the customer changed your contact. That's because you have commission breath. You're worried about it. What you focus on increases. So if you're worried about it, it's going to be a problem. Now, so if you've managed all the relationships and been who you are, right? A salesperson likes to meet people. You might be slightly introverted too, by the way, and you're curious about life and you're curious about people's jobs. That helps you. You develop relationships by asking questions. If you're an extrovert, well, then you're all over the place with exuding energy of, I love to meet people. They see that. People see it. So now you've done your job and the next person gets promoted and you're safe. And what happens? How many times has it happened where you walk in and your contact's gone and you have no idea who's sitting in front of you? So what would you do with a brand new customer? Yeah, you work on bonding. You work on bonding. You breathe. You let them know that you're by your energy, right? So the only thing we can control is the energy that we project. So by your energy, you project that you're fine and you're there to help. That's why you're there. And so you ask questions. Okay, so Bill is gone. Talk to me about what you're charged to do, what your responsibilities are. How are you feeling about it? It must be a little overwhelming. So again, you start to develop a relationship with this new person. I don't know that I would go a lot into, do you have children? You don't want to feel superficial. You don't want to seem superficial, because here's the thing. You don't know them. So you're asking about their kids. Oh, wow, you got kids. How many? What are their ages? Oh, someone's in college. It's a little too soon. If they start that conversation, then fine. If they start it, then fine. You're going to match and mirror. You'll match and mirror their body language as they're talking. Because guess what? If you're the software provider, if you're the medical device provider, if you're the insurance provider, if you're the supply provider, it doesn't matter. If you're the service provider, it doesn't matter. If you're the incumbent, they have to talk with you because A, they might say, hey, we're going to review everything that Bill did. Okay, that's fair. I would do that too. I understand it. Let's suppose someone was talking to me today about that event happening. They walked in and that's exactly what happened. And I gave them the same advice I'm giving you. The customer said, we're going to invite people to give pricing on your services. And so we're having everybody quote. So I said to him, well, did you ask him, do you have all the business? No, I knew that. He said, no, I don't have all the business. I said, so did you ask for a level playing field? Meaning, what you want to establish there is you'd say, okay, Mary, that's really fair. I agree with it. There are a lot of areas that I'm not doing business in. Can we talk about all those areas? And so that I understand we're not just quoting out my business, and it's okay. I just want to understand if there's other opportunity. I'd love to have that same opportunity. So you find a way to make it comfortable. And you might not say, are we quoting just my business? So you talk about what's the scope of work, what's going to be included. And if they say, well, we're only quoting yours. Well, okay, so I'm a little confused. I don't have all the business. So help me understand how this is all going to work so I can help you. So again, you want to make it as much as you can about helping the other party. Then remember that what you focus on increases. So this is the argument too, to always be working on something new in the pipeline. So I have salespeople call me and I can tell they're in a panic. They're in a panic. And my job is to help them win. So then I'll remind them, I said, this is the argument to be calling on some big things so that you have something in the pipeline always. And I know there are people right now that as I'm sending this message out that don't have something big in the pipeline. Look at your top 20%. Look at the top 20% of the customers that are giving you 80% of your business. 50 or 60% of your pipeline should be targets just as big or bigger. Think big. Why not? You got stories to share with people, third-party stories about how great you are helping other customers in those industries. So you have a good reason, you have a compelling reason to be calling on people that you help that are your largest customers. They're your largest customers for a reason. Okay, so again, here's what you do. You breathe, number one, you can't control it. Number two, if you've done your job below and you've made a lot of contacts and it's one of the people that you've made contact with and they know you, that's good news. It might still mean they have a directive from up top to review everything that the last person in the job did. That might be. And still, you can't control it, but how much better are you if you know the person and they like you and you established a relationship? If you don't know the person, then it's just like you walked into a cold call. Except, remember, you have influencers in the account that like you. And you have instances where you've helped the customer. So, Mary, in your process, talk to me about it. What's this whole process going to look like? And let her tell you. If you don't hear that they're going to be talking to other people throughout the hospital or the factory or the multi-locations they have that you service, the doctors, the nurses, again, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what you're selling. This is about relationship and about how you show up as a person. That's what I teach. I'm not teaching people what to say. I'm not teaching people what to say. If you're breathing and you're detached from outcomes and you're really listening to people and you're there with them, you'll know what to say. Especially if you're selling something good, if you have a lot of integrity and you're living your purpose and you really enjoy what you do because your company is changing the world or changing people's lives or making the company's environment better, whatever it is you do, if it's your passion, it'll show up. You never have to worry about what to say. The only thing you can manage is your energy and what you're projecting into the world. And then to what you can manage is what you think about and what you let run you. And when you develop that level of thinking above your thinking, you run you. You run that thinking because you change it. Because listen, I've had days where my brain is trying to enroll me in sadness or low level of energy or some form of mild depression, or that my life isn't working, or look at all the mistakes you made. And it's just not true. None of it's true. There's only lessons. That's what we're here to do. There's only learning. So if the process is getting back to the process, if Mary says to you, here's the process, and it doesn't include that they're going to talk to people throughout your customer that you have a track record with, then you can ask, so when it comes to some of the different departments that we service, will you be in contact with them? What will that look like? You can suggest it. She might say, what do you mean? Well, we help this department, this department, this department, this department. We help Bill and Mary and Sue and Tom and Nancy, and these are the people that run those areas. Will you be speaking to them about our service? How important is our levels of service to you? How is that going to factor in? We might not be the lowest price. There's always somebody that could be lower just to try to get their foot in the door. And how will you handle that? You can't control the answers to the questions. Your job is to be curious and to have questions. And if you're really present and you're not worried about yourself, then you're going to help them. You're going to point out ways to help them make the best decision. You're in there for a reason, by the way. You can say that too. We were selected for a reason. Now, if Bill got thrown out because you were suppliers were, there was a lack of integrity in his behavior or her behavior, then that's not a good idea. Don't even bring up the relationship you had with Bill. Keep focusing. You might not have been involved in anything that was out of the ordinary business practices. Maybe all you did was take Mary to lunch and get her some tickets once in a while, and the same thing with Bill, whoever it was that had the job. The thing is, you don't want to be painted with a broad brush, and they might. So you want to be curious, establish the ground rules, and if it's especially if it's someone you don't know. If it's someone you know, they may want to change. Again, you have the same conversation because you're curious and you are the incumbent. You're the supplier. Hopefully that person didn't lose their job because you screwed up. Now you're in trouble. You just lost that customer. Okay, so what we focus on increases. That's the law of increase. We have power to create a life. You're not the general manager of the universe. And all these things happen to test our reaction. So if you breathe and you'll be fine, you'll get through it. If you get fired, you'll get another job. And believe me, what good is the company you're working for if there's one mistake or one customer that leaves and you lose your job? Bucky Fuller and his wife, they were an amazing couple. When people got fired, Bucky Fuller's wife, Buckmeister Fuller, if you don't know him, investigate him. His wife used to say, you don't work for them anyway. You work for the universe. You work for God. You work for the divine, whatever it is you call it. You live in something bigger. And if you've got this little small mind, small pot thinking, right? If you got this little small mind, small pot thinking, then you're going to be nervous and anxious and worried and fearful. And there's no reason for any of that. There's no reason for any of it. It's a waste of energy. What you can control is who you're calling on, what's in your pipeline, the energy that you project out into the world, and remember to think limitless. You live in something limitless. It's a miracle. Why not? Why not? Okay, so think about what you're focusing on today. If you walk in, it's amazing how people see these messages. If you walk in and you've got a new contact, remember what you've taught. This is the best what you've been taught here, what I've taught you. If you learn something new, share it with me. If you have an idea, share it with me. I'm glad to even give people credit for it. So Buckmeister Fuller used to say, if you're doing what's yours to do in a universe, right? We live in something bigger. If you're doing what's yours to do, if you have passion and purpose and you feel good about your work, then guess what? You'll be fine, because this is our role as humans. This is And Buckminster Fuller wasn't the first person to say it. It goes back as far as Plato and Socrates, and even back to Kabbalists 4,500 years ago, is that we have a purpose. We come here with a purpose. Our job is to find our purpose, and then we're making a contribution to human growth, human evolution, to the advancement of our species. What's better than that? What is better than that? If you're doing that, great. If you're not, if you've got a lunch pail attitude and you're in sales and you just can't wait to get through the day, get out of that job, get out of that company, or change your mind. Remember, a lot of people are not grateful. Find things to be grateful for. Hell is, the definition of hell is wanting to be somewhere other than you are. You are where you are. That's what Eckhart Tolle says, right? If you fight life, life fights you, he says, in The Power of Now. This is now. This is what you have. Be grateful for it. Find that place of gratitude. Even if his customer and someone new is there and you don't know him. Relax. Surrender into the whole process. You might say, wow, okay, so a lot of changes. Talk to me about your process now, because it's about the new person in front of you. It's not about you. It's not about you. All right, so if I do say so myself, these are great tips. Every week, you can check in. They'll be on YouTube. If you missed the live event now, they'll be on YouTube. Everything's free. My job is to help people succeed. That's how I advance people in the universe. That's how I help humans evolve. If you want to check me out on Facebook, I have some other messages that are more of a spiritual. There's always things working that we can't see. Gravity isn't the only thing, right? So sometimes we get so small we think we're on a globe, and this is that the globe is the answer. This is it. That everything we see is what there is in life, and really what's happening is what you believe is what you'll see, and that's what happens in a limitless world. But if you're limited, then you can't see beyond. You'll be fine. You need help, call me, Steve Lentini, 917-805-1088, 917-805-1088. You can email me, steve@stevelentini.com, Lentini, steve@stevelentini, L as in Linda, E-N, T as in Tom, I-N-I. Go buy one of my books, Sales Success for the Rookie. It's a great book. All right, see you. Go to Amazon. Support my work. Thank you, and thank you in advance. I'm grateful for doing it. Have a great day.